How did I manage to make some pretty great sales during the slow summer months? I went on vacation. Okay, just kidding. That's not really the key, but there are some good tips in this video, so stay tuned.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body buttons for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I'm a part-time reseller on a variety of reselling platforms, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you what sold for me in the week of June 13th through the 19th. Now, this is a unique week for me because I was actually not even home able to, list and ship and do all those things. I was on vacation in Hawaii with my family during that time, and yet you're going to be able to see I was able to pull some pretty decent numbers, especially compared to the weeks, right before this, and I think it's because of all of the steps that I took to make sure that my reselling business was still going to have plenty of forward momentum, and I share those tips in this video right here, and I'll have the video linked down in the description below as well. I think it's a great video to check out if you yourself are planning to take a few days away from your reselling business, and these tips just ensure that your reselling business isn't going to completely lose momentum. Just to kind of give you a summary of those tips that I shared in that video, some of the things that I did before going on this trip were sending in a box of items, I believe there were like 20 to 21 pieces, to a company called eBliss. They are a company that acts as kind of like the Amazon FBA for resellers. You source stuff, you ship it to them, they will store it for you and ship it out for you when it sells. So it's a really nice service, and it's one that I like to use right now with some of my more higher priced items. And so I sent them a box of about 20 items, and those items went live while I was on vacation, and therefore some of those items sold, and they were, like I said, more of my higher priced items. So you're going to see some really nice bigger sales that sold during this week. Another thing that I did was I scheduled out listings to go live before I went on vacation for when I was on vacation. That way I didn't have to sit there while in Hawaii with friends and family, at my computer listing and doing all those things. I just scheduled items to go live on eBay, Poshmark, and on Mercari I just had them listed as drafts so that I could push them live really easily. The last couple things that I did was I did train someone on how to list and cross list for me so that they could do that while I was on my trip. And then finally I had my sister-in-law come and ship for me while I was on the trip so that I didn't have to put my Poshmark closet on vacation mode. While I did extend my shipping and handling time on eBay, I didn't fully put a stop to it or say I will be able to ship 20 days from now. I was able to still ship in a really timely manner because my sister-in-law was able to come and ship for me. So those were some of the things that I did, and like I said, you're going to see some pretty decent sales. So if you enjoy reselling tips and what sold videos like this and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, definitely make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And throughout the course of this video, if you feel like you've learned anything, then definitely make sure that you hit that like button as well, because by doing so, it actually helps out this video and my YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's jump right into talking about my sales. So first we're going to talk about June 13th, which was a Monday. And I started off with some pretty modest sales, and thankfully sales of things that I'd had for a while. So the first thing that sold was something that has been in my possession now for over 2 years. It's been a while. It is this pair of Eurosoft by Soft, which is like a decent shoe wear brand. Fayan, that was the style name. Leather and cork heeled sandals in a size 7.5. They were slip-on. There were a lot of flaws to them, just in terms of lots of peeling on the exterior leather, maybe a little chunks missing of the shoe. They were not in the best condition, but I picked them up at a local consignment store 2 years ago when they allowed me to shop in their storage unit by myself, and my cost of goods for every pair of shoes that I purchased during that trip was $1.80. And that's the reason why, even though I knew some of these shoes were not the best sellers, some of these brands were just whatever, I went ahead and purchased them because my cost of goods was so low. So these sold for $15 with discounted shipping. And so after discounted shipping, Poshmark's 20% fees, and my cost of goods, I made a profit of $8.48. And it only took 2 years. The next thing to sell was this Disney Couture gray Eeyore graphic short sleeve t-shirt in a size small. This I got at a Goodwill outlet in Indianapolis maybe a year or so ago. This sold for $15, again with discounted shipping. Both of those items sold as a result of using a Chrome extension called Poshmark VA. Poshmark VA is a tool for resellers, specifically for resellers who sell on Poshmark, because what it does is things that no Poshmark seller wants to do. It does things like, share your Poshmark closet. It will send out offers to likers for you. It does a lot of really great things. And so one of the many tasks that I give it is to send out offers to likers for me after about 5 minutes that an item has been liked. And to do so, you also have to offer discounted shipping. And so these two items sold as a result of Poshmark VA sending out offers for me. And this one, like I said, I got at the bin, so I only had $1.27 into. So I made a profit of $9.01. This is not the kind of thing I would pick up at a thrift store, but most Disney things will sell eventually. They won't necessarily sell for a ton unless you have something very unique or very limited on your hands. This was neither or. It was just a great Eeyore t-shirt. But at bins prices, I'll pick it up and sell it. And like I said, I made a profit of $9.01. And then I had a Depop sale, which, I have been picking up steam with, I feel like. Typically, I will sell one thing every 2 months, but it's been one a month, and that seems pretty cool. I like the trajectory. So I sold this Harley Davidson gray graphic t-shirt. It was from Deadwood, South Dakota, in a size medium. This was for women. It sold for $14 on Depop, and that does include shipping because on Depop I do offer free shipping. I only had $1 into that because I don't know. I don't remember where I got it. I think I got it at a local consignment store when they were doing a huge clearance sale, but I made a profit of $6.36. So like I said, that Monday, that first day of sales for the week, it was not looking amazing. I was still really thankful because I was on vacation and these were sales that were being made with very little work on my end, but there are better sales coming up. So on Tuesday, which was June 14th, on Poshmark, I sold this Doncaster ivory sleeveless silk blend top in a size 2. This sold for $21. I had $3 into it because I purchased it as part of a clearance sale at a local consignment store. Again, discounted shipping because I used Poshmark VA. By the way, if you wanted to try out Poshmark VA yourself, I do have a coupon code that you can use. It's Becky Park, and by using it, you save 20% off of your first payment of Poshmark VA. So you're saving a great amount, and like I said, it's just a really great reselling tool for Poshmark sellers, but I was able to make a profit of $12.08 on this item. Doncaster is one of those brands, I think that retail, it is insanely expensive. A local consignment store that I like to visit often, and in fact the place where I purchased this item to begin with, they have Doncaster in their designer section of their consignment store. I don't know that it's on par with some of the other brands that are in there. And certainly I don't think that Doncaster has as high of a resale value as some of the brands that it is next to in that section of the thrift store. But it is a well-made brand. It does have a good reputation. I would just be weary of paying up for it. I think, getting $21 for a sleeveless top is pretty good in my opinion. It just seems like not very many people are wanting to buy it resale and pay very much for it. But like I said, I made a profit of $12.08 and I will take it. The next thing to sell was over on eBay. It was this Caribbean blue Hawaiian tropical floral print button-up shirt in a size medium, which I thought was pretty ironic given the fact that I was in Hawaii at the time that this sold. It sold for $19.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. I had $3 into it from a local Goodwill. I don't know why I picked it up, but I did. And I didn't even pick it up that long ago. I picked it up a few months ago, but it actually sold pretty quickly after being listed, and I made a profit of $10.15. The next thing to sell was another piece that I picked up at that local consignment store when I was shopping in bulk at their storage unit. And for clothing items, my cost of goods came out to 80 cents per item, but it was a Saint-Tropez West blue tie-dye tank tunic in a size medium. So I've had this for over 2 years. This is not a brand that I pick up because it does not resell quickly and it does not resell for a lot, but I purchased this before knowing that. So this finally sold after 2 years for $14.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. It was promoted at 3%, and so I made a profit of $7.03. I think that this brand can make cute stuff. It's very resorty and stuff that you'd wear on vacation. It just does not resell for a ton because I don't think that it necessarily retails for a ton either. On Wednesday, I sold this Diane von Furstenberg 100% silk River Rock pebble print pencil skirt in a size 2. This I sold for $15 and I only had $3.92 into it. This I actually got in a wholesale pallet from a fellow reseller. So, this just came to my house, which was why I listed it despite the fact that it had a flaw. I think it was missing the loop that the hook catches onto. And because of that flaw, I just went ahead and let it go for a pretty, low amount. But it did move quickly. I just, didn't make as much from it as I could have. Diane von Furstenberg is a great brand, but I feel like the resale value has kind of gone down, and these kind of skirts is not even what Diane von Furstenberg is known for. They're definitely known more for their wrap dresses, and this obviously was not that. So while, I made money and lose money, this is not the kind of sale that I'm trying to make. And then I did get my May payout from the RealReal on this day, and it was not a huge payout, and my profit was even less. If you didn't know, the RealReal is an online consignment store, if you will, kind of like ThredUp, but they only carry designer and luxury brands. Recently, however, they changed their payout structure, so it's even worse for consigners. And while I feel like I had some decent luck with them, I do think I'm definitely going to be slowing down on sending them stuff just because it's really not worth the payout. It's just much more worth it to list stuff yourself unless you're finding really high-end items, which I typically am not. So I had a payout of $54.25 for five items that sold on the RealReal in the month of May. However, from those 5 items, my cost of goods was $45.98. So my profit from those 5 items was $8.27. It's embarrassingly low, but you guys know on my channel, I try to be as transparent as possible. I try to share my reselling journey as honestly as possible, and that sucked. Like, that did not feel good. I know without a shadow of a doubt that if I had listed those 5 pieces myself, yes, it would have taken more time. I would have had to photograph the items, I would have had to list the items and ship them out myself, but it probably would have been worth it for those 5 items. The big draw when it comes to the RealReal for me is sending them items that I'm not sure of their authenticity, because the RealReal will authenticate items for you. However, I don't think that any of the 5 items that sold in the month of May over on the RealReal were items that I was worried about their authenticity. They were items that I very well could have listed myself and probably should have, but I made $8.27, so we can get a full meal at McDonald's with that. There you go. On June 16th, which was a Thursday, this is when I started having some pretty great sales thanks to the box that I sent into eBliss and items being pushed live. So the first item that sold was not actually an item that I sent to eBliss. It was something that I had listed for quite some time now, like close to a year at this point. But this was one of those items where I was like, I need to wait for the right buyer. It was this pair of new with tags Crocs. They were the Cypress 4 rhinestone heels. They were black. They had Croslite technology. I don't know what any of this means. They were slide-on sandals in a size 7. I picked them up at a Plato's Closet for $8. They were not on sale, but I was like, oh, they're new with tags, they're Crocs. I've never seen, like heels like these before from them. I'll just pick them up. I'm sure I can sell them for at least $35. Wrong. They sold for $150. I'm going to let that sink in. Let me say that one more time. This pair of Crocs sold for $150. That was my full asking price, and they sold for $150. Now, the only reason I even knew to do research on this pair of Crocs is because when I hauled them in my haul video a long time ago from this particular Plato's trip, there were a few of you who left comments saying, you should do some research on those Crocs because there are some styles from Crocs that can go for over $100. And I was like, surely this is not one of them. It was. Now, I will say that if it's just the Croc Cypress 4 and they don't have the rhinestone on them, they're not worth nearly as much. I think at that point you can expect to get $35 to $45, even new with tags. But something about the rhinestone embellishment on these is the reason why they were able to go for so much. Now, I'll put a close-up of the retail tag here, but they did not retail for even close to $150. And I actually had some people leave some pretty snarky comments on my Poshmark listing of these. They were like, is this a typo? Like, did you mean to say this was $15 as the listing price? Like, why on earth are you pricing these at $150 when the retail tag says blank? I personally just didn't respond, and someone else actually responded to them, and they were like, this is a pretty rare style. She probably knows that she can, get a good price for them. Lots of snarky comments. I actually did sell them once. on eBay for $90 to someone in Australia. And after I accepted her $90 offer, she was like, you're going to have to give me more of a refund because there's like so many taxes that are added to this, things like an international sales tax, there's shipping, there's this and that. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go down anymore. You can cancel the sale if you want, but I already, took $60 off of my asking price for you. And I'm glad I did because a few months later, I was able to sell these for $150. So my profit on those was $112. Love to see it. Now, I will say I did relist these on Poshmark, and so those snarky comments that people had left were gone. And there's a way to get rid of those comments too on your listings. I usually just don't care. Like if someone wants something, they don't care if someone's, said something really snarky about them. But I believe that this sale is also a result of me relisting stale listings on Poshmark. I didn't drop the price though, and as a result, they sold for my full asking price. I made $112. I got, 5 stars. It was a great, great sale. Now on eBay, I had another great sale, and this was one of the items that I sent in to eBliss for them to store for me, ship out for me when it eventually sold, and also when they got the item, they pushed it live on eBay, and then all I had to do at that point was cross-list it to my other platforms. But it was this pair of Jaded Gypsy, which is a boutique brand in LA, I believe. This brand is made in the United States. It's got like a very boho hippie vibe to it. It was this pair of patchwork dream denim pants. They were flared jeans in a size small/medium. That's how they do their sizing on everything, is like small/medium or medium/large. I kind of just want them to make up their mind. But I saw these at a local consignment pop-up sale, and the first day that I went, it was, the first day of the sale, everything was full price, and I kind of contemplated getting these, even though I'd never heard of the brand, because when I looked up comps, they were really good. But I just had a feeling, knowing the people in my town, knowing kind of the aesthetic of the people who live here, I was like, no one's going to buy these. These will be here on half off day. And sure enough, they were. And so while I believe full asking price was $46 or something like that, I was able to get them for around $23, I want to say. Definitely less than $25. However, when I shop at this consignment pop-up sale, I always go off of average cost of goods. And so my average cost of goods for a half off day was $11.16. These I had listed for $150. However, I sent out offers to watchers when they got a few watchers on them for $134.90 on eBay. They were promoted at 3%. Someone accepted my offer. And so I made a profit on these after, my cost of goods and eBay fees of $100.21. I just knew when I saw these jeans that I had something special on my hands, did the research at the pop-up consignment sale to make sure that it was worth paying, $23-ish. They absolutely were, and this is definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. The next item that sold was in no ways a huge sale like the ones that I just talked about, but this is kind of, my bread and butter sweet spot is selling stuff for $20 to $30. It was this vintage Ralph Lauren Blake beige button-down shirt in a size medium. This sold for $20 on Facebook Marketplace. I only had $1 into it because I got it at a local consignment store when they were running a clearance sale, and so I made a profit of $17.40. This was an item that I was ready to just give away at this point. I actually had it in an auction on eBay starting at $2.99, and I'd had it run in an auction for 2 months or something with no bids, but someone on Facebook Marketplace came in and bought it for $20. I will take it. The next day of sales that we'll talk about is Friday, which is June 17th. I had one eBay sale, and it was this Callaway Golf gray printed skirt in a size 3X. This, I think, was one of the items that I had go live while I was on vacation in Hawaii. I scheduled the listing out. It costs 10 cents to schedule a listing out on eBay. And if you remember to go in the day that you want it to go live anyway, to just manually have it go live, you don't even have to pay that 10 cents. However, I was like, I'm willing to pay 10 cents for items to go live if I don't have to worry about that myself while on vacation. And this was one of those items. It sold for $19.99, which was my full asking price. It was promoted at 3%. I had $3.92 into it because I did get that in a wholesale pallet from a fellow reseller. And so my profit, even after the 10 cents, even after my cost of goods and fees, was $12.75. Golf stuff still selling so well. Even, today, for example, is July 18th, and even today, golf stuff is still selling well. So if you have golf stuff sitting around at home, list it. Moving on to Saturday, which is June 18th, on eBay, I had another really great sale. It came from that same pop-up consignment sale, and it was an item that I had sent out to eBliss. It was this new with tags, Gal Meets Glam, Jane tie waist midi dress in a size 12 petite in the color sea blue. This sold for $124.99. That was my full asking price. This was an international sale, and again, I bought it on the half off day at that pop-up consignment sale. My average cost of goods for that day was $11.16. I think that I ended up paying $25 for this because I think they were asking $50, which to be honest is pretty fair, but even seeing that on the full price day, I was like, I am gonna wait till half off. I'm gonna risk it because I just don't feel like people are going to pay $50 for a dress like this in my town. And I was right. So I waited and I benefited from waiting. I made a profit of $95.35. That was my very first time finding Gal Meets Glam. They do make a lot of bridesmaids dresses and they can do well. However, some of their pieces are a little oversaturated. So when you find a dress that looks like it could be a bridesmaid's dress, I personally recommend using Google Lens to take a picture of the item to see if you can pull up a picture of that same dress on Google, and that way you can find out what it's called, and then you can type the name of the style name into, Poshmark or eBay and see what comps are like. Just because it says Gal Meets Glam on the tag doesn't guarantee you a $125 sale. It depends on the style. So this particular dress, there were a decent number of on reselling platforms, but not in this colorway and in this size. It was a bigger size. It was a size 12, and even though it was petite, I had full confidence that it was going to be worth the $25 that I spent on it. So another great sale, another item that sold within a week of being listed, and eBliss was able to ship it out for me, which was really great. By the way, if you're interested in trying out eBliss, what they actually prefer is for people to send them everything. So, they have a program where you can just send them like 20 items a month, although I think they're going to get rid of that. What they prefer is that you send them everything, which the beautiful thing about that obviously would be that you don't have all this clutter in your home in the form of inventory. And once they have it in their possession, they're going to store it for you. They're going to ship it out for you. If you want to try out eBliss and just kind of even meet with them, Zoom with them to see if it's a good fit, I do have a link down below that you can use just to let them know that I referred you to them. But they're great people. It's a great service. And it's one that, to be honest, I'm kind of shocked not more people know about or talk about. So the next item that sold was more of a normal sale. It was not anything over $100, but it was this Lily Pulitzer white cropped athletic tank with a shelf bra in a size small. This sold for $14.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. It was promoted at 3%. I had $3.92 into it because it was part of that wholesale pallet. So I made a profit of $7.97. This was an item that surprisingly got like a decent amount of attention. I got a lot of lowball offers on it on a variety of platforms, and it only was listed for, I want to say, a week or two. It wasn't like a high ticket item, but I was happy to make, what I made off of it. And then on Sunday, which was June 19th, I had another really great sale on Poshmark. This was by the brand LaFleur, which is one of my favorite brands to find. I don't find it very often, but surprisingly, I have found it like a handful of times in my town. It was this navy diagonal stripe faux wrap career dress with a collar in a great size. It was in a size 18W. It sold for $106 on Poshmark. I had discounted shipping with that because of Posh VA. I did purchase that at the half off day at that pop-up consignment sale. My average cost of goods was $11.18. I don't remember how much I actually paid for that item, but I bet it was right around there. And so my profit on that dress was $71.90. LaFleur is such a great pickup. I feel like almost every single item that I have sold by them has sold for at least $50. And this dress, I think one of the reasons why it sold for as much as it did is because of the larger size. So it's a great brand, especially in bigger sizes, but I've definitely sold smaller sizes for good prices as well. The last sale that we'll talk about for this week was over on eBay. It was this J. Crew Factory pink sleeveless sheath dress in a size 2. That sold for $24.99, which was my full asking price, and I made a profit of $20.74 because it was something that a friend at church gave to me for free to resell. It actually sold once before on eBay for less, and it got returned due to like fit or something like that, and I was able to sell it for a little bit more the second time around. I did have to hold on to it for a very long time the second time, but I was still able to move it, make some money, and there's something that just feels so good about selling things that you got for free. So let's talk about my numbers for this particular week in June. Again, a week where I wasn't even here, I wasn't listing, I wasn't shipping, but I was still making money, and more money than the weeks prior when I was actually running my business myself. What does that say about me? I don't know. But on Poshmark, I sold 6 items for a gross sales amount of $322. When you factor in Poshmark's fees and any shipping discounts that I offered, that total drops to $250.72. My cost of goods for those 6 items was $29.17, and so my net profit was $221.55. On eBay, I sold 7 items, which is one more than Poshmark, and I made more money on eBay, which makes it like my, I don't know, 3rd, 4th, 5th week or something like that of eBay beating out Poshmark. It's a good sign, I think, and a trend that I definitely want to continue seeing because eBay is a worldwide marketplace. It is where you want to grow when it comes to growing your reselling business, in my opinion, and I'm glad that that's kind of where things are trending. So my gross sales amount on eBay was $354.57. Once you factor in fees and shipping, that total drops to $288.16. My cost of goods for those 7 items was $33.96, and so my net profit was $254.20. I remember, I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago, I claimed all the time here on YouTube that I would never sell on eBay because it just seems so scary, so daunting, so out of my league, and I did make a lot of mistakes when I first started. I, did sell things to scammers, and I did do my shipping incorrectly, and, I made a lot of mistakes, and I continue to make a lot of mistakes. But eBay is still worth it, in my opinion. And it's one of those platforms, just like anything in life, really. If you just start doing it, it gets easier with time. And if you are still at a loss and you're like, I don't even know where to get started, I feel like eBay is too hard, definitely check out this video right here. I had a bunch of really successful eBay sellers send me videos with their best tips when it comes to selling on eBay, and it has helped out a lot of people in the reselling community. That's a great place to start if you're really scared about starting on eBay, but I'm here to tell you that I'm very glad, for one, that I got over my fear and just started listing over there, because without it, in this particular week, I would be $254 poorer. That's a hard word. On Depop, I sold the 1 item for a gross sales amount of $14. Once you factor in shipping, which I paid for, and Depop's fees, that total drops to $7.36. I had $1 into the item, so I made a net profit of $6.36. I had 1 Facebook Marketplace sale for a gross sales amount of $20. Once you factor in Facebook Marketplace's fees, that total drops to $18.40. I had $1 as my cost of goods for that item as well, and so my net profit on Facebook Marketplace was $17.40. I sold 5 items on The RealReal for a payout of $54.25. However, my cost of goods for those 5 items was $45.98, so I made a net profit of $8.27, which is just about the saddest thing. So in total, I sold 20 items for a gross sales amount of $764.82. Once you factor in shipping and fees, that total drops to $618.89. My cost of goods for those 20 items was $111.11, and so my net profit was $507.78. That is the amount that made its way into my bank account while I was on vacation in Hawaii with my family. I do have 1 more vacation coming up. It was actually probably too much vacationing. Like, don't tell my husband that I admitted that, but like 3 bigger-ish trips in one summer is probably 1 too many. So we did Hawaii, we just got back from Disney, and in about a week's time we'll be going to Seattle to see my parents, and we'll be there for 2 weeks. is a lot. And there's a lot that I want to do to, again, prep for my Seattle trip so that my time there can be as successful as my time in Hawaii was. And I think looking at the weeks of sales that I had while in Hawaii is helping me remember, what worked, what didn't, what things ended up being very useful and helpful. And so, like I said, these are things that I want to keep doing in the month. And so, like I said, these are things that I want to do for my Seattle trip as well. So that's it for my week of sales. I hope you enjoyed watching it and learned anything. And if so, again, I would super duper appreciate it if you could hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content just like this headed your way week after week. And that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.